The bleak lands are a polarizing place. Huge beacons of blinding light contrast the dark souls of those who reside here. The cathedral that provides hope to so many, marred with bullet holes and laser burn. The friction of nations distilled into a pocket of conflict.
Welcome, pilot. Begin systems check. Navigation systems online. Weapons online. Engines online. Magnetic catapult initialized. Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Hunt down collectibles and listen to the echoes of souls who inhabited these spaces before you. They may hold valuable information.
The cracks bite hard.
Warning.
They
Return
spider
to
in the
active battle
glass as they
zone.
reach out to each other, desperate to connect. As you strain to focus past the irregular, intermittent shards, the future begins to etch itself into the transparent plane. The temperature falls, the pressure builds. Every molecule in the cockpit compacts around you, bracing itself to take the strain. Fused to the spot as the lights burst into the periphery, each impact inches closer to the end. Commit the mistakes to memory. Learn the lesson. Each battle scar is a chance to right a wrong.
Twisted mind, a reserved soul and shy to the uninitiated, blessed with a mind that embraces technology as a way of life. He lives inside himself, surrounded in a wired world, reclusive and unburdened with the problems of others. Yet, despite his introverted tendencies, he projects his will on an almost infinite scale. It's hard for a man like myself to admit, but I need him. It's the closest thing I have to friendship in this world. He brought me back. After all these years, he brought me back to wage a war. Sometimes I wonder if this was his will all along.
I never met the rabbit. Fatal kept him out of reach, out of sight. Yet his influence is everywhere. The Quartermaster knows him. I've heard he was a student. You can certainly see his mark in our tech. It's only a matter of time till I find him. Expose him. Privacy revoked. No cold exists like the frozen rush before death. The computer angrily signals its warnings, but this only quantifies what you sense in your bones. The crystallization of organic matter. Fractals race across the surface, replicating near identical diamonds. Blink once, then it consumes you, lifeless in the dark. A huge tunnel carved through the heart of an asteroid opens out to an imposing vertical space station, surrounded by fragmented cover.
Welcome, pilot. Begin systems check. Navigation systems online. Weapons online. Engines online. Magnetic catapult initialized. Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Search for the imprinted echoes of past inhabitants and valuable collectibles scattered throughout this simulation.
You think you own these stars, till it all comes crashing down around you. It's easy to toy with your curiosity, manipulate your hunger for the unfamiliar. Leave no stone left unturned. How brazen to feel like you have a right to know. One step further into the void. Like space should hold no mystery. Every corner to be conquered and exploited. You follow the blips on your radar. Salute the man and plant your flag. Define your fictitious boundaries. Property of me and my kind. Poor unquestioning puppet, I will set you free. Just a little bit further now. Reach towards the unknown. What's wrong with your computer, pilot? That's an accident waiting to happen.
Sometimes I think about what I am now, what I am becoming. My soul reduced to a string of binary inputs. Am I still the same person I always was? My existence recycled to source code so many times I wonder if a few bits go stray each time. The stream leaking some non-essentials before being reshuffled. A new bag of skin for the next inevitable conflict. But what if those non-essential parts are what defined me?
Cracking the hardened shell of the carrier's exterior can seem insurmountable. An elongated fortress hanging in the dark. It will defend itself till the very end. Took us years to crack the code, expose the weakness. Before that, you just had to bring a bigger gun. But all that noise can bring some unwanted attention. With a little insider knowledge, we turned the advantage. Began to tear this thing apart from the inside out. I have to admit I enjoy the ceremony of it all. The grandeur of the swarm devouring the queen is undeniably satisfying. A methodical deconstruction, death by 1,000 cuts. Having the courage to push directly into its heart is an effort certainly not for the meek. You got to make yourself a target. But often the biggest risk yields the greatest rewards.
Currency does not weigh down my pockets. It is not the goal. I do not crave it like the common man. That would show weakness. It's a means to bankroll progress. The great enabler. I'm a builder, you see. Ships with pure function. Stripped back to bare metal. A framework for every pilot's ambition. And with each clone, each bullet fired, each life lost, comes information, the real power. Raw, uncompromised data. A growing reliance on my services. War is good for business. It is unique to see the hatred between two people burn with such intensity. Two philosophies waging war. I don't take sides, but I am taking orders.
A busy station hub punctuates the dark nebula with the vibrant red and white colors that define the Sisters of Eve.
Welcome, pilot. Begin systems check. Navigation systems online. Weapons online. Engines online. Magnetic catapult initialized. Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Ghosts from the past have left impressions on this landscape that can teach you valuable lessons. Search out all the collectibles in this space for a substantial reward.
The Sisters of Eve proudly display their red and white colors as banners of peace. A welcome haven for the Valkyrie in dark times. We have become aligned by a common goal, united by a common enemy. They have a desperate need to stem the tide of drifter tech, to keep it from spreading like wildfire. I need the tech to put this war zone back into an even keel. Stop Fatal taking the upper hand. But we've been disconnected for so long it's hard to interact with civilization again. Our people are now trapped in a world of our own. Fighting. Surviving. How will we learn how to trust again?
have refined my fighters, pushing them forward. A persistent evolution of form and function. From the ships of old, I stripped out the redundant, the dispensable subsystems, and extravagant components that dull a pilot's instinct. With the Wraith and all that followed, I constructed frames that focused the senses, heightened that certain killer instinct, the gene that separates the strong from the weak. I unified pilot and machine as one entity. Every iteration, every breakthrough, a step closer to my goal. I thought wormholes were the answer, the potent gases and unique signatures made for some interesting results. But that was just a prelude, a taster of what was to come. Drifter tech is extraordinary. A new age of warfare, each ship redefined. I've been able to breathe new life into every aspect, mold it around every pilot's aspirations. Everything stronger, faster, more focused. The next generation of combat.
Ship is almost the pure expression of an apex predator. An unseen attacker, total commitment to the kill. It survives in the shadows. Early detection will mean death. It stalks its prey, emerging from nothing. The prey is hit with a potent strike. It turns to face the threat, and like that, it's gone. The shimmer of a ghost. Suggestions of an enemy that no longer exists.
Up in the stars made fighting on the ground feel so alien. A unique tactical challenge that I could not simply pass up. To put my stamp on this far-flung rock and access the secrets buried deep below.
You fly well. Do all that I ask. I feel we have established a very special relationship, you and I. Especially since I got you back on your feet. Ironed out that little disagreement between you and Fatal. The incident liberating Lone Trek Shipyard and those carrier schematics. He nearly purged you back into insignificance. A very close call. He is, after all, a man with very unpredictable flutters. Paranoid and volatile. Me, I'm far more pragmatic. Take a more considered approach. I believe hard work earns its recompense, not retribution. Compensation for services rendered. So, from now on, all your experience, All that you do will be rewarded. Capsules of my wares containing war paint and insignia for your ship help you stand out from the crowd.
The miners and gunjacks should leave us to our own devices if we don't interfere with operations. Keep your reflexes keen around those asteroids. The deep mining in the area has caused some dangerous fracture routes through the bedrock.
Welcome, pilot. Begin systems check. Navigation systems online. Weapons online. Engines online. Magnetic catapult initialized. Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Search for the imprinted echoes of past inhabitants and valuable collectibles scattered throughout this simulation.
Holographic telemetry report Beta 9A. The date is YC118. Fatal is pushing us hard to get the clone cascade bandwidth up. I've continued working on a system to parse real-time pilot data with higher rates of compression. My focus on Cortex flood statistical analysis has so far come up with interesting yet predictable results. I have, however, recently stumbled onto the exciting prospects of direct retinal function streaming. A few evenings of experimentation have produced a working prototype of a dynamically driven map visualization. If I can amalgamate the consciousness stream of each squad member, we could see an exponential increase in accuracy. Upshot is, each clone on return would never have to jump back into the battle blind. They could see allied and enemy movements and key positional points. I have yet to run an analysis of new clone strategic choices and decision-making in the moments after a fresh cycle. But it's possible we could see those husks actually make some poignant judgment calls. Tomorrow, I'll push the algorithm to a second twinned tank and hook up the projector cells. Hope I don't fry any more of those gooey tube dwellers.
You have lost everything. Your past, your identity, even your life. It's all gone. Your body burned, now freezing in the vacuum of space countless light years away, in the debris of a forgotten battlefield. To them, you don't exist anymore. To be honest, you never really existed. In their minds, you were little more than a number, a unit with a fixed cost in a war of attrition. I was there too, after they destroyed me in the darkness. Until I awoke. We have been given a new life, a new chance, and this time we're not fighting for them. We're fighting for ourselves. Your mind is sharper, your body is quicker, you can feel the tingling synapses react like never before. We are augmented. Our fighters are built for us. Your old body wouldn't have handled the forces. The unaltered mind couldn't manage the controls. Faster, more nimble, more deadly. Your enemies will hardly know what hit them. You are no longer a number. a unit, a pawn in a merciless game. You are one of us. You are a Valkyrie. I have a lot of respect for the Gunjacks. To have such an unwavering sense of purpose. They fight until they have nothing left to give. Nameless. Forged in the molten heat. It's what the Valkyrie must be if we are going to survive. Cast off the constraints of our mortality. As we are hunted through these shattered rocks, the mining barges carry on unflinching. Red heat piercing the thickened crust of the scarred planet below. I contemplate the future of the Valkyrie. What is our place in this world now?
Technology required to steal the entirety of a living being is not something easy to come by. Extracting the full essence of a pilot at the exact tick their life is extinguished. You're too busy dying to notice a tiny puncture, of course. The proliferation of synthetic organisms intricately hooking into the junctions and pathways of the nervous system. A main line from your synapses to my pocket. All of you transferred in a blink. Precious digital ghosts with no place to go. I am the ferryman. I will guide you to the other side. I will build you back up in my image. Wonderful what technology is capable of these days, isn't it?
The gateway absorbs every particle and molecule from the vacuum around it as it crackles into life. The first firing of this thing is going to be something very special to see indeed.
Welcome, pilot. Begin systems check. Navigation systems online. Weapons online. Engines online. Magnetic catapult initialized. Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Ghosts from the past have left impressions on this landscape that can teach you valuable lessons. Search out all the collectibles in this space for a substantial reward.
Engineer's personal log. First mark. Our new project began today, on the private gate. It's a huge undertaking. 2 separate Galente jump gate designs, amalgamated into one mammoth hybrid construction. I had my reservations. It's a challenging build. But the sheer amount of funds behind this thing is staggering. A private consortium has backed this thing to be completed under any circumstances. I've been contracted in to lead the secondary induction point, what will herein be referred to as the nose team, the part where all the magic happens. Out here on the fringes, interesting bit of space, and cold as all hell. The deep blue from the nebula soaks into your bones, a cold temperament eking out from the planet below. Even in the full face of the sun, it's the bitter frost that burns. Non-specialized equipment flash freezes within seconds. But it's not all bad. The on-site ice asteroid belt will prove an excellent source of materials. And word of some nearby wormhole activity has piqued my interest. Might explain some of the recent function anomalies. I've requested a probe to collect telemetry data, see if we can harness some of its energy. It's going to be a big project. We need all the help we can get. Personal log, Mark 1344. These icy blue rocks drive the engines of exploration. A rich arcing vein of crystallized frozen gold. Refined extract from the ice belts are harvested and transported, processed down into fuel that powers the jump drives of New Eden's most formidable ships. It's the Great Leveler. All corporations, no matter how big, have a continued dependency on an ever-dwindling resource, an obsolete relic of an archaic age. Reliance that we should have surpassed long ago. So much research wasted on war and bloodshed. But that's just my humble opinion. And what do I know? I'm just an engineer. Personal log, Mark 2293. I'm becoming more and more suspect of the operation structure. Suddenly, my clearance is no longer the highest around here. The project is shifting around my feet. A new gateway alignment team came in today, different from the guys we usually use. Trim, finished, and buttoned-up, techie-looking suits. Not a mark on them. Our guys stick out a mile side by side. They're real grafters. I went to introduce myself, and they marched clean past me in the hall, like I didn't even exist. Locked behind a new secured area on the upper decks. Word is, they're repointing the expressway to a different location, rotating the gateway to a different set of coordinates than on the original schematics. It puts the relative traversal pivot into a vertical position, 106.4 degrees off the construction axis. I need to do the math on the anchor, find out where this thing is pointing and what's going on here. Till then, best keep my head down and my thoughts between me and this recorder. Personal log, Mark 4223. Today, we installed a temporary short-hop transversal jump unit into the core of the gateway shaft. It should facilitate a huge increase in travel time between the nose and tail construction teams. I have no idea how we acquired them. Until now, they've only been used in a military capacity. It used to take pilots into battle faster with other pilots. A trickle-down technology reserved for battle. It's based loosely on the Spectre's heavy fighter class engines, capable of throwing the huge mass across the sky in seconds. In the engineering meeting, I asked where they came from. Who can get a hold of this stuff? The entire room robotically jerked their heads around to face me. The drone at the head of the table narrowed his eyes and returned. It's classified. Barely moved his lips. What kind of cryptic corporate nonsense is that? The room sneered at me. No longer among friends and colleagues. My peers have slowly been replaced. Morning neocom males, full of retirements and extended leave. Holidays they never return from. As we slowly patch over the gate's yellow framework with a metal skin, it becomes more apparent. Things are not all as they seem.
The graveyard of a long-forgotten battle. We've lived this before, and I will not die here a second time, pilot. I am connected to this place for the rest of my lives. Here lies the beginning of our story, among the wreckage, the birthplace of the Valkyrie.
Welcome, pilot. Begin systems check. Navigation systems online. Weapons online. Engines online. Magnetic catapult initialized. Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Search for the imprinted echoes of past inhabitants and valuable collectibles scattered throughout this simulation.
Amazing how circumstances change in just a few short years. I'm a man who prides himself on being in the loop, you see. The secrets and lies of a galaxy flowed towards me. An entrepreneur's real currency is knowledge, but with my death came a form of bankruptcy. A feeling of isolation that I am personally unfamiliar with. However, the challenges of this new world excite me. Shedding my notoriety has been a liberating experience. Working outside of the spotlight has afforded me new opportunities. I own more than just your indiscretions now. I own everything you are.
A toast. I raise a glass to those poor bastards at Esmes 3. Never knew what was coming to them. From what I hear, the fleet punched in for whatever reason, starts blasting. 0 to full-scale war in seconds. Then the Avatar throws out that doomsday laser, the so-called holy light. And all that remains are scattered ashes. No rhyme or reason for anyone can see. Damn wars, all orchestrated from afar. Engineered by suits and cloaks with no notion of the body count. Small gains for high casualties, you know what I mean? Damn place is a graveyard now. Wouldn't go out there if you gave me this second-rate bar as payment. Cleaning frozen bits of people out of your intakes for weeks. Metal tombs in creepy fog, man. Cloudier than this crappy glass. Did you ever wash this? Give me a fresh one, you lazy lump of lard.
I've come a long way from the boulevards of Kai. We're all very far from home. Life was simple in the Navy. They said I was the best. The one that wouldn't die. Well, they were right about that, at least. It was a trap. My ship burned. My body froze. It's probably still there, abandoned in deep space. But they took me. They took my mind. I didn't die. They said they had saved us, made us special, better. They said that we would fight with them and that we would finally be free. They lied. They always lie. Now we've broken off. We bow to no one. Now we are free. Now we are Valkyrie. I hate losing anyone in the transition. But sometimes it's just inevitable. The mind and body don't mesh. A clash of two souls, one rejects the other, refuses to connect. Nobody deserves to go out like that. So we gave them new purpose. We formed a construct, a living system for this ship. Itself a haven for the lost. Voices of the past become a guide to your new existence. Welcome back, old friends. Crackles of lightning illuminate an oily metal disc that appears to hum with a strong electrical charge. Inside, the drifters awake from their slumber.
Welcome, pilot. Begin systems check. Navigation systems online. Weapons online. Engines online. Magnetic catapult initialized. Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Hunt down collectibles and listen to the echoes of souls who inhabited these spaces before you. They may hold valuable information.
There are many skills to master as a fighter pilot. A series of macro decisions hang in the balance every second you're in flight. Now, each ship comes armed with a unique tactical attribute, an ultra ability that can tip the balance. Your reactions need to be honed to harness it at the correct moment. Beyond the mechanical is something instinctual. Lose focus and the moment is past. An opportunity taken or a prospect squandered. We've long been in a deadlock with the schism, fighting for our survival against the odds. We always knew Fatal had a larger plan in play. Layers of deceit, intentions beyond the obvious. We tracked the schism across New Eden, hitting its resources where we could. Always looking for some method in the madness. Over time, patterns began to emerge. It started with the gateway, money funneled into a private pathway, an express route to nowhere. Icy rocks on the edge of obscurity. Then we discovered solitude, the base that doesn't exist, research veiled in secrecy. Now, crawling with schism. A key to unlock the Drifter's technology, and with it, the future of fighter warfare.
night, fogs of energy roll across the dark gas that surrounded me. Suddenly, a break in the obscurity. The vapor grew lighter, distant lights emerging quickly and sharply into focus. Not quite a sign of life, but a glimmer of existence. After years of moving the pawns around, shaping the lives of so many, nudging them into position, I found it. I finally found it. A drifter outpost. The oily metal structure span out in a huge orbit before me, layers upon layers of concentric loops withdrawing into a central core. Decoration was sparse and brutal. Large metal panels occasionally catching what little specular light crept into the void. The outer ring was large enough to contain corridors, passages that allowed me to fly my fighter throughout and scout the perimeter. As I edged around the circumference, I noticed a series of electric spines, long snake hooks, and darting spears charged with energy. The space around them was modulating, disturbed and alive by the power being generated. Any contact with my ship would overload it for certain. I weaved my way towards the nucleus, continued to navigate the paths hidden in the darkness until I found a place to set down and inspect this fossilized tomb and the technological treasures that lay inside. Hidden from plain sight, an enigma shrouded in darkness. The key to our evolution is contained in the chronicles of our past. Relics of the drifters scattered to the winds. Each one sheds a fragment of light on our history. A little piece of the puzzle, and you're going to deliver them to me. I want them all, pilot. I've set up a series of extraction points in key locations, areas with high concentration of relic site activity. Here, you'll find compact smuggler gates locked into my coordinates. Seek out the sites, grab the relic, bring it to the encoded gate. The spoils go to whoever can bring me back the prize. Either get it to me by your own hand or help a teammate across the line. I don't care where it comes from, as long as I get the package. No rewards for second place, just forget it and find another. Our future may well depend on your excavations, friend.
A beam of light cuts across the sky, focused and radiant. At its apex, huge mounds of rock are pummeled from the ancient moon and extracted for greed.
Welcome, pilot. Begin systems check. Navigation systems online. Weapons online. Engines online. Magnetic catapult initialized. Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Ghosts from the past have left impressions on this landscape that can teach you valuable lessons. Search out all the collectibles in this space for a substantial reward.
Round Cavac, my eternal nemesis, continues to pursue me, and I somewhat admire that. Her quest for vengeance is unrelenting, an unfortunate side effect of my ambition vicious recruitment program, a persistent thorn in my side. Today I am feeling it more than ever. We are in trouble, you and I. Fighting on two fronts is exhausting, and I need to lay low for a short while. Incarcerated in this iron lung, self-imposed exile while I hide from these creatures. A brief step out of the spotlight. If they find me, the drifters, they will destroy the schism and everything we've worked towards. I don't scare easily. I have not feared death for a very long time. But if the drifters catch me, I'm in for a special kind of torture. Back from that. Eternal sleep. A prisoner trapped in my own mind once again. I have done a lot of what you may consider wrong in my time. Corrupt, sinful, even malicious. Harmed others for my own personal gain. Aligning the stars to my will. What I do, however, I do for the greater good. I not only give life to the schism, I give us purpose. But this time I may have overstepped. Our desire for technological advancement has pushed my efforts forward significantly. The fleet is spooling up, causing chaos where they roam. All seem to be in my favor, but the fallout from my ambition is becoming more evident. For the first time since you and I began this campaign, we appear to be on the back foot. Pilots hold a grudge. I understand that. All this pent-up aggression, it boils under the skin. Striving to be the best no matter the cost. It's relentless, all-consuming. Tempers flare, grudges are formed. Friends become foes, competitors become adversaries. Enemies become your every waking thought. I've been considering a way to use this in a more constructive way. Sometimes you've gotta let off some steam. Fight on your terms, not mine. Define the rules of combat as you see fit. Settle some scores. Mutual destruction. You know you're coming back. Time to burn some of those extra lives. This is all about bragging rights. An invitation to a very special party. Huge chunks of rock, crisp to the touch. Toothy cracks with razor-sharp edges. A cacophony of debris scattered to the winds. Freshly extracted prosperity, drawn from the crust of the planet below. Resources reclaimed from the universe. When the scraps no longer satisfy, you must create your own. Fabricated, unsustainable, man-made wealth. Buy now and pay later. Problems for a future generation. And what do I care? I sure won't last forever playing the games I'm playing. Hauled up in this refinery, hiding from those archaic napping misfits. All I have for solace is this mining laser. It's overkill, I know. But this button brings me so much joy. It's just too much fun. Don't get in my line of sight, Valkyrie or Schism. I just want to blow something up today.
This was once a thriving shipyard, hard-working military families. Now it's full of the discarded husks of failed clone transfers.
Welcome, pilot. Begin systems check. Navigation systems online. Weapons online. Engines online. Magnetic catapult initialized. Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Search for the imprinted echoes of past inhabitants and valuable collectibles scattered throughout this simulation.
Amongst the construction platforms and docking bays of this old shipyard lies a field of empty shells. Behind the blast doors and crosshatch metal frameworks, the failure of 1,000 pilot transfers. A reminder that despite my situation, my resurrection could have been more difficult. Fatal has testing facilities all over, working on new technology, advancing and refining. A proud empire on the fringes of science, hidden from prying eyes. The amount of resources he controls is staggering. The only cure is to burn it to the ground.
Another round over here, please. Whiskey, no ice. Perfect. Hey, you've worked in the nest a long time. Quartermaster ever come around here? In person, I mean. Guy is a snake. A thief, and I better not even utter that out loud. He has ears everywhere. The whole place is wired, right? Are you one of his? Guy gives me the creeps, man. You know what I mean? Has anyone ever seen him? Could be a her. You are definitely my best customer. At those prices. Sure I am. He has something on everyone in this bar. Hell, everyone in this carrier. Trades in secrets and lies. Who knows what he's got on me? Another whiskey, please.
I've often stared death in the face. I did not run from it. I did not fear it. Even as my ship burned and my body froze, I did not fear it. But death did not take me. They did. Now when I stare death in the face, I only see myself. Now they fear me. Fear us. We are the Valkyrie. After the painful contortions of death, a clone rebirth is initially quite serene. The inside of the vat is tranquil in comparison to the ferocity of a life's end. Before my audio pathways synchronize themselves, I have a few seconds of bliss, a floating quiet. I wake up disoriented and displaced, familiar yet distrustful of my senses. I catch my own reflection in the glass. I recognize the body, but not the person in it. Suddenly, the world is ablaze with warning lights and piercing klaxons. I'm back out there, replaying the inevitable. I feel my own death over and over and over until a crisp light catches my eye. My squad mates. Their cold silhouette on the periphery, jolting awake, forced back to life, gasping for something tangible, reliving their final moments. I finally recognize myself in them. A facility anchored into the bedrock of a cold and volatile planet hides a secret under the snow-battered surface.
Welcome, pilot. Begin systems check. Navigation systems online. Weapons online. Engines online. Magnetic catapult initialized. Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Ghosts from the past have left impressions on this landscape that can teach you valuable lessons. Search out all the collectibles in this space for a substantial reward.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? If you find this, listen to me very closely. I had very little time before Fatal's forces moved in to contaminate this place. The residents of Solitude left little behind. They cleaned this place out. All the tech is stripped from the walls. It's been gutted. An empty shell. I did find something, however. Unpurged data packets residing in the system. Its coordinates. The coordinates. Ones that will take us right to the source. I need you to come find me. It's going to be a war zone up here. This technology will change things. Our work has not been in vain. It's more than I ever imagined. A message from the ancients.
Wormholes are a lawless land, pilot. Twisted, vibrant, beautiful. An alluring poison that will even corrupt what's left of your carbon copy soul. Each one is surrounded by a thick, nebulous layer. A violent haze that shrouds its secrets in electrified mist. Everything you thought you knew obscured and contorted. You'll never know what's on the other side until it's too late. Those who dare venture inside have a lot to gain. This is my mission to you. The precious gases swirling around in there are a commodity I would pay handsomely for. Refined them, they can have some unpredictable qualities. Just a little sprinkle. A few drops in your fuel mixture A light dusting on the tip of a warhead. It ignites with such color, such enthusiasm. We may never do war the same way again. So ride the conduits, my friend, and be careful to get out before it's too late. You could be sealed in forever. What do I know of the catacombs of solitude? Come closer, pilot, and see here. Some secrets just between me and you. There is a network of subterraneous caverns blasted into the calcified rocks, stretching out like fissures in every direction from under the structure. Steam rises from the vents scattered across the landscape. Something is going on down there. Mechanical gateways cut into organic stone. A warm, inviting glow for those seeking refuge from the cold. Those who have been speak of its embracing electric hum. The welcome respite that punctuates horizon after horizon of wind-shorn rock. And the silence. Whoever built out here wanted to keep away from prying eyes. I think the caves near the base are being used for storage, but for what, I do not know. The blue and yellow pipes run like veins through the tunnel's openings and outlets. They map out routes to long, swooping ridges you can use to fly deep into the surface. Use them to guide your way, keep you from getting lost. All roads lead to here, but I'm not certain they lead back out.
I often listen to the hailstones crash against the thick metal slabs of the launch bay doors, like an angry mob storming the castle gates. The elements rally against us, like a body fighting off infection. Volatile icy shards eroding an alien structure that blights the landscape. The noise kept me awake at first, but now I cannot sleep without it. I find some comfort in it. A break in the endless quiet. It is my only companion. We transferred here to do a job. A skeleton crew of 16, tasked with excavating what lies beneath the surface. 16 souls rattling around this superstructure, uncovering the ghosts of the past. But I have a feeling that is about to change. Word is out. New paths being built right to our feet. Now the quiet may be broken forever. I should be careful what I wish for.
return to active battle zone. Return to active battle zone.
This place is our solitude, a supposed hideaway to work in undisturbed peace. By its very definition, we are here to shy away from the prying eyes of New Eden, off the damn grid. So, tell me this, associates. Why the hell have we caught word of a gateway pointed in this direction? A privately funded conduit that lands them right on our doorstep. Who would be looking for us this deep in the wildlands? Someone is amassing forces on the other side of that portal, and they want what we have. Once they open that thing up, we have no protection against the flood. Nobody from the Minmatar Republic will come to our aid. We can only presume they know we are here. We can only presume they know what we are doing. I'm ordering an immediate evacuation of the premises. Lock this place down. Strip it clean and strip it fast. We don't have much time. Leave no trace of our work. The nomads roam again.